Talks about the fact that $19 billion at a minimum is missing in Minnesota, given to a large degree by Somalians. They come from here, they have no money, they never had money, they never had a life, they never had a government, they never had a country, because there's basically no country. Somalia is not even a country. They don't have anything that resembles a country. And if it is a country, it's considered just about the worst in the world. They come here and they become rich and they don't have a job. I was told that Ilhan Omar is worth $30 million. She never had a job. She's a crooked congressman.
So that was President Trump with his thoughts on the Minnesota fraud scandal. Joining us now for more on this is North Carolina Congressman Brad Knott. Sir, good morning. As you know, the House Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime and Federal Government Surveillance holding a hearing today. And, of course, Nick Shirley, who kind of broke open this massive fraud scandal, he will be testifying. Your thoughts on President Trump's remarks as well as this fraud scandal and what you're expecting to hear?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a good topic to discuss because this really is just the tip of the iceberg, we believe. There is an ongoing investigation, and there's two components that need to be focused on. Number one, just how deep does this conspiracy go? Obviously, the Somalians have come to the United States. They have stolen what amounts to 100% of their national GDP, and that's just what we know of. But secondly, how did they secure the political favor within the Democratic Party to have what was very obvious fraud? Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, they were very aware of what was going on. They had whistleblowers. The facts were obvious. I mean, Nick Shirley had an iPhone, and he blew it wide open. What went on in the democratic systems of government in Minnesota to allow this fraud to continue at the level that it did for as long as it did? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, and again, as we know, this is spreading to more states than just Minnesota when it comes to massive fraud. And, one of the congresswomen in that state, Ilhan Omar, says that she will now oppose funding ahead of a House vote to fund the government before that quickly approaching January 30th deadline. Now, she's also saying she will not approve of giving more money to the Department of Homeland Security due to ICE's actions. What's your response to her?
She's right in line with the Democratic Party. I mean, look what happened in Virginia with their brand new governor. Before she had even been in power for half a day, the first action she took was to prohibit local law enforcement from working with ICE. The Democratic Party, over the last 5 years, they made it very clear they are the party that wants illegal immigration. They want mass migration. They want to flood every neighborhood with folks around the world who are here illegally. And Ilhan Omar is right down the middle of the Democratic Party with these demands. But it's very obvious they do not want to remove anyone who is here illegally, whether they're a criminal, whether they just got here, whether or not they've been here for more than a year. If you're here illegally, the Democratic Party wants you to stay. They want to give you money. And they ultimately want to give you the right to vote so that they can have unchecked political power, just like they have in Minnesota, California, and places around the country.
Yeah, it's just the irony of everything that you just said about Democrats wanting these illegals in the country and possibly holding the government hostage over the funding of ICE. It's interesting because when former President Barack Obama was president, he deported 409,000 people in 2012 alone. That is almost twice the amount that President Trump deported in 2025. Sir, Obama even gave the border czar, Tom Homan, the Presidential Rank Award for Distinguished Service in 2015 for removing so many people and getting a handle on the illegal immigration in this country. What has changed when it comes to your Democratic colleagues here?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the Democratic Party, again, they have just drifted further and further to the left. They realize that they cannot make their party work without mass migration. And you look at what happened in Minnesota. Again, this is a very good example. They steal tax dollars. They distribute it very carelessly, possibly criminally, to folks who are here on an immigrant basis, the Somalian community, and then they reap the benefits, whether it's private, whether it's public support for the campaigns, whether it's financial. There's tremendous political benefit to the model that the Democratic Party has secured. That's what's changed. They have drifted further and further to the left, And to maintain their operation, they must have mass migration, the likes of which we saw over the last 4 years.
Yeah, and finally, to you, sir, about 30 seconds, just a very simple question. Do you think a deal could be reached before the January 30th deadline?
It's going to be tough. I mean, the Democratic Party, like Ilhan Omar, is locked in, and they're focused on trying to remove any authority, any political win, anything positive that could be attributed to this president and to this Republican Party in Congress. And when those are the postures beforehand, it's going to be very difficult to get a deal done. But the Republicans are working hard to try to make sure the government stays open and that people are safe in this country.
Yeah, sir, we appreciate all of your hard work. Congressman Brad Knott, thank you so much for your time this morning.